Today could hold two matches we'll long remember even after PVL ends. We're still only halfway through the tournament, but we're gearing for a couple of huge matchups. First two, the PVL's newest teams face off in a match that could decide their playoffs chances. Santa Lucia takes on Chery Tiggo. The Lady Realtors are planning to continue forth from their win. Now they need to keep this pace to remain standing. One of the top teams, Chery Tiggo Crossovers, is also just staying in place to keep on dominating in this conference. It's so exciting to see Jaja Santiago versus Mika Reyes, MJ Phillips versus Dindin Santiago Manabat. And in the second match, Valley Pure, the team that captured the hearts of the PVL's fans with their gutsy play, will run head-to-head with Creamline Cool Smashers, the defending champions. Will Grace Bombita and the Valley Pure Water Defenders score another upset, or will Eliza and the Cool Smashers prove to still be on top of the ranks? There's no exaggerating that today's everything, truly everything that all the PVL fans would ever ask for. Let's see what our stars will write today. This is PVL on One Sports.
Good afternoon, Philippines, and welcome once again to your continuing and exclusive coverage of the first and only Professional Volleyball League. This is the Premier Volleyball League Season 4 Open Conference on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Of course, the players are there warming up at the PCV Socio-Civic and Cultural Center in Bacaray, Ilocos Norte. We got another exciting double dip for you, as Ai Tinsay hinted on today's doubleheader. First up, match number 23. The Chery Tiggo Crossovers, who bounced back and are back in the win column, will go up against the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors, who did the same the last time out. That is our first game. And then in our second game, this should be exciting. Match number 24, the undefeated Creamline Cool Smashers, and the surprise of the tournament so far, the upset-hungry Valley Pure Water Defenders. Boom Gonzalez and Noreen go for this first game on day 11. Noreen, we got a nice lineup for everybody.
Well, a day of volleyball. It's good. It's rainy here in Metro Manila, but we have volleyball action, so we should all be excited.
Kahapon, bumabagyo din dyan sa Ilocos Norte, pero tuloy ang laban as we see the two teams involved and where they are in our team standings.
Yeah, let's just do a quick run through after 10 days of play. The top, Chocomucho and Creamline with 4 wins and 0 losses apiece. Chery Tiggo play today, tied with Petrogas with 3 wins and 1 loss. Valley Pure 2-1. Santa Lucia will also see action 2-3. Black Mamba Army 1-3. Signal 1 win, 4 losses, and Perlas and PLDT have yet to win in this tournament.
Now, as I mentioned, these two teams have bounced back after a loss. That's one thing they had in common. The other thing that they have in common is that they made changes in their starting lineup in their last game. Chery Tiggo coming off a surprising loss to Valley Pure. Everybody knows that already.
Yep.
They're back on track. And that team that they defeated was the Perlas Spikers, the very pesky Perlas Spikers. They were dominant in the first set, winning by 15 points. But in that second and third set were Perlas Spikers, and credit to them, Noreen, got a little bit more confidence, started to get a rotation going, started to get their offense and defense going. But they lost still, obviously, in sets number 2 and number 3. They were very pesky, but they still went down to 0-2 after this defeat from Chery.
Yeah, we covered this match. And you're right, it was a dominant first set, obviously 25-10. And here's the story you said. Perlas played well in the second and third set. Perlas even had a set point, 24-22. But the story is Chery Tiggo played with maturity and poise towards the end of those two, set 2 and 3. They showed mental toughness, which obviously they lacked in that loss to Bali Pure. So, if you're Chery Tiggo and your fans, you should be happy because with such talent and if you exercise mental toughness, imagine how strong this team will be in the future games.
The mental toughness that my partner is talking about is the fact that they were able to come back, something they were not able to do against Bali Pure in certain crucial stretches in that upset loss. But they're back and they felt good and they made changes in that starting lineup. This was the big one. Shaya Adorador started in place of Mylene Baat. Also, we have to mention Tina Salak was also inserted into the starting lineup. But Shaya, the open hitter, has always been an open hitter, even when she was in the UE Red Lady Warriors. Backed up the 15 points of Jaja Santiago with these numbers that you're about to see on your screens.
Yeah, in previous seasons, I know that Shaya Adorador would come off the bench, play sparingly. But right now, she started. And look at the numbers. 12 points on 6 attacks, 3 blocks, 3 aces, 10 digs, and 7 receptions. Overall performance, all-around performance by this girl, showing us that she indeed maybe deserves a spot in the starting 6.
And that is exactly the reaction and the look of Shaya Adorador when they won that game. And she got to sit down and she caught up with our very own Ai Tinsay. Let's listen to that interview.
Saya, as a starter, ano ang nasa isip mo kapag nagsisimula ka ng game? Ano yung mindset mo usually sa first set pa lang?
Siyempre, as an outside hitter, kailangan po muna namin ng passing. Yun talaga yung pinaka-important. And para sa setter namin na hindi mahirapan mag-adjust sa quicker namin.
How is it going? Even in such a short amount of time, how did you establish that connection outside the court?
Nung bubble training pa lang, sobrang sobrang saya. Sobrang grabe yung bonding namin. And ayun, nadadala naman namin siya dito. Yun nga lang, mahirap kasi kanya-kanyang kwarto nga. Ganon. So, less na usap, pag training lang nagkikita. And sobrang strict din talaga.
Oh, para sa protocol. Pero at least
Para sa protocol, yes.
Before makapasok dito dun sa kailangan ng social distancing, at least nakapag-bonding kayo sa bubble. There you have it, Shaya Adorador of the Chery Tiggo crossovers.
Thank you very much, Ai Tinsay, with the now starter. And let's see, I would assume she would start today again against the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. The girl that you're looking at, Maiza Pontillas, went to the bench. That was the change in that match against Black Mamba Army Lady Troopers. But she was so effective coming off the bench and actually finished the set off strong with 4 hits that pretty much gave that first set to them. But the big change there is she goes to the bench. Jovi Prado, who's been also a spark off the bench in previous matches, was the one who started, and it resulted in a 4-set win.
Yeah, you mentioned that earlier, the few tweaks that these coaches do. And in terms of, and talk about Santa Lucia, you said that Jovi Prado, the spark, getting the starting position. We showed the standings earlier, and we can see we're actually midway towards the tournament. Santa Lucia fighting for dear life. They want to win all their remaining games to have a chance at the Final Four. And then they did it against Army, although it was 4 sets. They played well. And you talked about the tweaks. Jovi Prado played well, but we have to mention really 2 categories. They played a very good defensive game. They had 10 blocks in that game and 8 service aces. So these are the 2 categories that they have to work on coming in today's match.
Sabete and Prado starred in that second set, that deadly combo in that second set to give them that win, and then nagtuloy-tuloy na nga sila, eventually winning in 4 sets. Prado being the starter means that MJ Phillips was moved to the other side, the opposite hitter, and she looked pretty comfortable in that match against Black Mamba.
Yeah, back to her scoring ways, 14 points on 11 attacks and 3 blocks. We talked about the blocking being effective in that match. So we will expect more than 3 blocks, hoping, from MJ Phillips to match those digs as well.
Good scoring for Santa Lucia in general. Prado with 17, Sabete with 13, and of course that girl on your screens right now, 14 points for her, and she caught up with Ai Tinsay for this interview just prior to the game.
MJ, after a couple of matches these past 2 weeks, how is the vibe going around the team? What is the key in being able to refocus for your next matches?
It's been rocky in the beginning, but we are able to bounce back and we're taking it one step at a time. And yeah, it's good vibes. Take a championship game every day.
And this has been one of your first conferences after a couple of injuries. How would you assess your performance individually as a player?
There's always room for improvement as an athlete, and we're just going to get after it every time. So yeah.
Thank you. There you have it, MJ Phillips of the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors.
And these are our national referees for this match. First referee, Erlindo Eusebio. Second referee is Nestor Matematico. And now it's time to meet the starters. First, for the Chery Tiggo crossovers. Middle blocker from the National University, number 3, team captain, Jaja Santiago. Center, also from NU, number 4, Jasmine Nabor. Outside spiker from De La Salle University, number 6, Arian Layug. Outside spiker from the University of the East, number 11, Shaya Adorador. Opposite hitter from the National University, number 16, Dindin Santiago Manabat. Middle blocker from Adamson University, number 17, Joy Dacoron. Starting libero from the Far Eastern University, number 23, Puting Duremdes. And the head coach for Chery Tiggo is Aaron Velez. And now the starters for the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. Center from the College of St. Benil, number 2, Janelle Cheng. Middle blocker from De La Salle University, number 5, Mika Reyes. Opposite hitter from Juniata College, number 13, MJ Phillips. Middle blocker from the University of St. La Salle, number 15, Del Palomata. Outside spiker from Arellano University, number 19, Jovi Prado. Outside spiker from Bulacan State University, number 20, Jonas Sabete. Starting libero from Anderson University, number 1.
Starting 6 for Chery Tiggo on your screens. Jasmine Nabor is back starting para sa Chery Tiggo, and Shaya Adorador for the second straight game. So that means is si Dacoron will start also. Mylene Paat will come off the bench for Chery Tiggo. For Santa Lucia naman, Janelle Cheng, who started that last match in their win, together with Jovelyn Prado. Those were the adjustments. The Sabete, very effective too. I feel like Sabete has always been very comfortable, and I may be wrong. This is just me in the past watching, Petrogas before and all that. She seems to like playing with Jovi Prado on court also.
Yeah, and I actually met up with them a couple of times outside the court, and they are good friends. They're
Maybe
really
that's
buddies.
why. Maybe that's why.
Yeah.
It's nothing like playing with your friends,
Yeah,
right?
true.
In the meantime, the girl who is all over our stat sheet, Jaja Santiago, is going to get us started here for game number 1. This is match number 23, day 11 of your Premier Volleyball League. And starting off, good sign, Shaya Adorador right away.
Yeah, I mean, after those numbers, producing those numbers in that match against Perlas, yeah, she actually deserves the start. And obviously, Coach Aaron is pretty happy with that rotation. So why not Shaya Adorador start today? Oh, Sabete. You talked about her and delivered.
So let's see if we're going to see some action from Mylene Paat, who started the first couple of games for Chery Tiggo. Dito naman sa kabila, for sure, we will see action from Aiza Maiza Pontillas. Pero ang gusto ko yung adjustment na ginawa ni Coach Orculio na parang gamitin siya in spurts. The way that Black Mamba Army is using Ging Balse in spurts.
Yep.
And super effective, the two veterans, as you see the pipe attack.
Yeah, you know, quality minutes is what these veterans can give. Bring them off the bench, let them rest a bit, and when they need them to score, they will. They do.
Din thought she caught the line. Santa Lucia will get the point, 2-1. We expect my expectation when I saw the schedule and saw this match. I think this would be a tough and a hard-fought match here between these two teams.
Yeah, it should be. It should be. I mean, when you talk about height, Santa Lucia has height as well with Palomata and Nika Reyes and MJ Phillips. So, in terms of that, I mean, it's pretty much even. It's really a matter of how they come out and start and play today.
Right. On paper, it should be a tough match.
Yeah.
Also, in terms of the situation that they're in. Yes, it's very different. Santa Lucia, doesn't want to go and see their fourth loss in a short tournament. 4 or 5 losses, Noreen, are that puts you in a very delicate situation in a single round tournament. Ang Chery Tiggo naman, after getting that win the last time out, regaining their confidence, if they win today against a quality lineup like Santa Lucia, it only will enhance your confidence and your morale going up against the tougher teams now. You're going to go up against Choco Mucho for sure, Creamline, and people are going to be waiting for those matchups.
And obviously they learned. What I like about Chery Tiggo is they learned from that loss, showed it in that game against Perlas. That's why I said, if you have that talent and then you have that mental toughness, they would be really a hard team to beat.
4-2 is our score. Nika Reyes on deck.
Yeah, good start by Santa Lucia. That's what you want to see from them. You're right, we talked about it. They need to win the remainder of their remaining games, the remainder of their matches, to be able to have a chance to be in that Final Four.
And even the Santa Lucia fans are a little bit surprised on how they've lost in the tournament so far. It's a little bit sluggish. We saw the spike of the set brought to you by Duncan.
Yeah, I mean, sluggish. A lot of people talking during the preseason, and Santa Lucia was actually a frontliner, so front runner. Sorry, frontliner. I'm talking about the pandemic. Front runner in the tournament, but then, you talked about the losses, but it's not yet over for them.
Oh, definitely not, especially if you've got MJ Phillips hitting like that. Cross court, opposite side, 6-2 is the score. Looking super comfortable in that area. She's the #1 scorer. She's the 10th best spiker, and she's also the 2nd best blocker of the league after 10 days of competition. So, obviously, you know how capable she is. And if you put her in a position where she's super comfortable, then that might really be even better for her. Ashaya Adorador, very comfortable as a starter here. Parang naririnig ko na naman yung ulan dyan sa...
Well, let's hope that there are no more leaks nor blackouts.
Like yesterday.
Yeah, I know. I was watching the game.
Buding with the save. And that means MJ gets another high toss for the 7-3 score. Santa Lucia ahead. The other thing that I also saw in that Black Mamba matchup that they were smiling more, they were more active, they had more energy, which I didn't see in the last 2 losses that they had. That their body language was down.
Sluggish.
Yeah.
Well, early on here, we can see MJ Phillips in the zone. So if you're Santa Lucia and if you're the setter, Cheng, you should go to her more often because she is taking advantage of the smaller blockers in front of her.
Dindendo with a great attack there. Here's a girl who also came off the bench for Chery Tiggo and provided a major spark in that matchup against the Perla Spikers.
Yeah, you like those substitutions, towards the end of a set when it's crucial. Then you bring out some player who performs. I mean, I always say that's confidence of the coach in that player.
MJ Phillips looking good early in this matchup. Technical timeout, 8-4 is our score. You're watching the PVL on One Sports and One Sports Plus. It is 8-4. Santa Lucia ahead, and this girl on deck is the one on fire early. Push, the tip. Janelle. Oh, Buding saw that. Bump set. Cross court. Sinungkit ni Jovi. Nandun si Pineda. Pineda was there. She's the 5th best digger in the league after 10 playing days so far. You have some players here who are in the top 10 of a lot of categories, offense and defense.
A lot of MVP performance. Good serve.
A little bit over-received, yes? You can't do that when Jaja's in front.
You can't. You
9
can't.
out of 10 times, if not 10 out of 10, 9 out of 10 times, you're gonna lose that point.
Yeah. And you can see her body squared up for that ball. So that one is really hard to beat.
Nice approach.
Whoa!
Beautiful approach. The flight deck of Jovi Prado.
Oh, it really deserves to start.
Really, you know, these smaller attackers like Prado, Sabete, Bang Pineda in her
Pineda.
time, you know,
Yeah.
they really, when they go up and have that swing, it's just so beautiful to watch.
Oh.
Smart. She saw the spot even before she started running.
You know, that's one thing Jaja Santiago developed throughout the years, her court sense. She's making full use of her height, looking where she can drop the ball, when she can hit it hard. Smart player. She became a smart player.
Here's another girl who's having a wonderful season so far, coming from her ACL injury, Yan Layog.
Oh,
Double touch. Right bang.
you talked about Layug. I mean, when I was looking at the lineup, I'm saying, oh, okay, I wonder how Layug's gonna play, and she's proving herself. She's starting in every match, and you're right, she's just playing a spectacular tournament.
Naboro was there. Somebody touched the net, and it was it Shaya? I think Shaya's complaining that she didn't. But Erlindo Eusebio, our first referee, said that she did. And you know, as a player, sometimes you don't notice.
Yeah.
You really don't with adrenaline. I mean, I've talked to some of the players about it, and they really do. And then they see the replay and they say, oh nga, no, natamaan ko pala. Sometimes you try to get away with it because you know you touched it and umaangal ka. But there are times that the players will say that they, lalo na yung mga grace lang,
Yeah.
na hindi mo nararamdaman na natatamaan mo yung net. And maybe that was the case for Shaya. In the meantime,
What about that?
hang time by
Yeah.
Jonah Sabete.
You can imagine how strong her core is to be able to, talk about the height difference, and she's able to put that down.
Jaja Santiago. First in serving
Yeah,
for the league.
very consistent. But you talked about the net. I wanted to say, aside from what you just mentioned, that they don't feel it, they will never, even if they do, admit.
No, which is what I said earlier.
Yeah.
Sometimes you try to get away
Yeah,
with it.
Exactly.
Na magkukunwari ka. And then there are other times na talagang hindi mo naramdaman.
Yeah.
Oh, door was slammed. I think that was Ostero with the block.
That's a great block there, Ostero. If we can say the shorter middle blocker in this lineup, actually in the sixth, but she gets a stuff block.
Tina Salak was the one who started in the last match. It's on the board today.
Well,
Like I said, the #1 server, the first best spiker, the third best scorer, and the 8th best blocker in the league, Jaja Santiago.
we're not surprised. We're not surprised with that performance.
Coming off a 15-point performance against the Perla Spikers.
But one thing I feel that's more important aside from all these numbers, Judge Santiago, being now the team captain, really has to, rub off her teammates. Those winning ways, the winning attitude. They have the material to win. Can they actually win?
The same can be said about the Lady Realtors. They have the material. They have an improved lineup. 13-11.
Yeah, great.
Aaron Velez on your screen.
Yeah, great start by Santa Lucia. You want to maintain this 2-point lead, 3-point lead going into the latter part of the set, but that's not going to happen in those service areas.
But we did expect, as we said at the start of this coverage, we expected this one's going to be a tough one. These two teams. Do not be surprised if we have, battles all the way till the end of the sets.
Yeah. And what you like also for Santa Lucia and their fans is they're coming off a morale-boosting win. Black Mamba armies, no pushover. So coming off that and having that morale play against Chery, they're playing different.
Sabete finding that hole. Campfire on the side of the red shirts.
Just a smart off-speed hit there.
Buding.
Oh, good dig.
Wow, what defense by Santa Lucia, but Sabete couldn't roll it over.
You know who dug that?
Buding.
Mika Reyes!
Was it Mika?
It was
Oh, you
Mika.
mean here on the
Yeah.
Santa Lucia side.
I mean, that hit by Shaya Dora. Dora's looking at it. That
Oh,
was
you're
a
right,
great
right.
dig. It's Mika Reyes.
Right. That one's out.
Oh, a couple of service errors by both teams here.
Sabete back on deck to serve. Had 13 points in the previous outing.
Good serve.
Mabor
Oh,
chooses Dindin.
yeah, that's just a smart hit. You have Palomata and Prado. Just went down the line, challenged Prado, and gets the point.
Rachel Ostero. 14 serving 15.
Good serve.
Jovi gets it back after receiving. And the now starter producing again for the 2-point lead. Second technical timeout.
Serving for Santa Lucia, MJ Phillips.
Marjana Phillips will get us going for this rally after the second technical timeout of set 1. 16-14.
Good serve. Whoa!
On top of the ball.
Boy, if she goes up to that, she's virtually unstoppable, really.
It's like a routine hit between her and Nabor. Perfect set. Perfect spank of that ball.
Yeah, but if you're Del Palomata, you have to adjust. You have to try to read Jaja's arm where she may hit it, because that's going to be a good matchup. Del Palomata against Jaja Santiago.
16 all.
That's a spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. Palomata rather killed it too wide. And then it was answered by Din Din. And her service error. Nika Reyes is back in that front court.
I'm actually curious to know how many errors both teams actually have at this point.
We'll get a count in a bit. In the
Yeah.
meantime, we're halfway through. Buding sends it over, just so it's still playable. Prado adjusts in mid-air and gets it to go.
Boy, Prado really playing above her calling today. Just so consistent, so smart.
We have a timeout here. Chery Tiggo at 3-1. Our team standings. Buding Duremdes, the 8th best digger and 6th best receiver after 10 competition days. This is match number 23 today. Going up against Phillips and Santa Lucia Lady Realtors. And as expected, it's a close match so far.
Yep.
Attack points of both teams.
Yep. 9 and 8 respectively.
Straight down the pipe for Din Din Santiago. That's the second pipe attack for her. Jaja trying to draw Jovi Prado to the left. So it was just Nika Reyes and Din Din one-on-one.
Actually, she was helped by the net. The ball brushed the net. It had it not touched the net. Sabete was there, so it was actually a lucky hit for Din Din.
Justin Dorog. Whoops! Miscommunication between Cheng and Reyes.
That actually happened to Chery Tiggo. Luckily, Buding Duremdes was there to keep that ball alive. But in this case, it was an error. Good serve.
Din Din keeps it up. Shaya, Jaja, Shaya again, goes to the corner, but that's too long. Too hard of a push.
Good intentions, bad execution.
So that gives the lead back to Santa Lucia, 19-18. This is how I expect this match to be. Hope you're ready, Noreen.
I'm ready to go the distance, Boom.
Inisip ko nga dito on my way here. I was like, this has a match of the tournament potential.
And it's living up to expectations. 19 apiece, but again, another service error.
Now serving, Santiago.
That's a good running attack, but Din Din was right there for the dig. Nika sends it back. Shaya adjusts. Sabete gets it back and finds another hole. They get the lead back.
Yeah, obviously, part of the game plan is to play it smart, be patient, finding that hole. You know, that happens also if you acknowledge that you have a very tall opponent who's very deadly in terms of blocking. You try to find these spaces wherein you can put the ball.
Back to Chery Tiggo here. Shaya reloads. Return to sender. Was it Phillips or was it Reyes who was credited? Let's look at it and check. Oh, it was Phillips.
Phillips, yep.
Chery Tiggo with a timeout because they are down 2. As expected, it's not going to be a cakewalk for either team, and it's proving to be that. Chery, Tiggo having a tough time trying to get that lead and get it consistently, while Santa Lucia having a hard time pulling away from Chery Tiggo. They have a chance here though. Ball is in their hands. Chery will be on offense.
Better serve.
Ostero.
Oh, good save.
Chance again for Chery. Ostero back to back.
Well, you can see that they're fighting back. They're down. And, you know, we always try to mention in that loss against Valipure, you know, again, the mental toughness out there. But here, they're fighting back. And good sign for Chery Tiggo fans.
Nabor serving 20-21. Over receive. But overreach for Rachel Ostero. That might be a crucial error.
Yeah, it is. They're down 20-22. You know, Boom, that's always a challenge with, you know, tall middle blockers. If it goes across, you know, when can you hit it? When will it be an error? So you have to make that decision at the right moment.
And now back-to-back points for Santa Lucia. They might be able to pull away at the right time here. 4-point lead.
Looks like it. Good serve by Mika.
After 21-19, it's a 5-1 run. They're looking to make it a 6-point run to finish off Chery Tiggo in the first.
Another good serve. Oh,
And Mika Reyes was there again. And
Oh!
Phillips gets the point. First set goes to the Lady Realtors, who are all smiles after the first set. We will be back. You're still watching the continuing and exclusive coverage of the first and only professional volleyball league in the country. This is your premier volleyball league. Boom Gonzalez, Noreen Go, happy to have you with us here on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Your assessment of that first set, Noreen, as both teams came in confident about their chances.
Yeah, Santa Lucia just they started out strong and they just realized, hey, we can actually win this. Everybody played consistently. MJ Phillips really was a powerhouse. Look at the numbers. They led in terms of attacks, in terms of blocks, and unforced errors. Chery had more by 2. But as a whole, I feel that Santa Lucia got from that win against Army, Black Mamba. And they're playing consistently. They're talking. You talked about them, the aura of this team. They're enjoying and they're performing.
We haven't even seen their silent assassin, Maizo Pontillas, in that first set, which is what they did in the first set of their previous match para panapos. So who's leading the parade, Noreen?
Yeah, for Santa Lucia, it's Phillips. We talked about how well she played in the first set. Sabete as well, 5 points, so 6 and 5. For Chery, it's the Santiago sisters, Jaja with 4 and Dindin with 3. But if you're Chery Tiggo, you need more of that. You know, Dindin and Jaja, 3 and 4 for in one set. And you want to give them more opportunities to score.
Adorador was active, just could not really get going through that block. What I thought lacked a little bit was the presence of maybe Yan Layug. We didn't see her get set up a lot in that second set, just for variation.
Yeah.
Or in that first set, rather. In the meantime, the second set is rolling here with Santa Lucia ahead by 2. Pineda keeps it up.
Yeah.
Reyes, Pineda again. Phillips tips it.
Another smart tip there. Yeah, but one thing, you know, in that first set, I would see Chery Tiggo needs to cover. You know, they're getting surprised with the blocks of Santa Lucia, but they shouldn't, because it's also a tall lineup. So you need to cover. And so I always say, as to give your spikers more confidence to keep hitting.
In the meantime, Mylene Paat makes her appearance here
Yeah.
in the second set for Chery Tiggo. Adorador sends it back again. Prado. Nabor was there. Cheng. Phillips.
Oh.
You talk about being comfortable as an opposite hitter. You can see it. It's just so different in the previous game and in this game.
Yeah, you said it. You know, she's so effective. And every time, you know, Cheng's also doing a good setting job, because the middle blocker is always slow to Phillips. So she takes advantage of that.
Di pa nga natin nakikita si Ruby De Leon di ba?
Yeah.
Kasi magandang pinapakita ni Janelle Cheng. Bang Pineda on your screens. 4 points for her.
Ooh.
I thought she got it.
It seems like she got it.
Was
but
there part of the ball that hit the court already?
no, it looked like a clean hit. But the call's a clean pancake take. But the call stays. Let's move on.
Phillips on the other end. Buding. It's too high, so they get the ball back. Pump set. But we're gonna need more of that.
Yeah, she's there, which is good for Chery Tiggo. But Jasmine Nabor has got to go more to her, so she can get her feel in this match.
The digs on your screen for both teams. The pickup by Sabete. Phillips.
Oh, good dig.
Pineda again rolling. Prado. Buding sends it back. Oh!
Oh,
Wow, Santa Lucia locked out there.
yep.
They locked out there. Mika Reyes made that little mistake of sending it over right away. But they dodged the bullet and got the point and are ahead and are looking good here in set number 2.
Yeah, another strong start here for Santa Lucia. And again, Prado, just very consistent, playing well. You know, making sure that the free gift did not go to waste.
And then a service ace for Jovelyn Prado, the 9th best server of the league. She is in the top 10. That is a spike of the set brought to you by Duncan. Set number 1 went to Santa Lucia. They're up ahead here 4 in set number 2. Joey Prado, as I said, in the top 10 of serving after the 10 days so far in competition. And that's it. And that's with only not much court time so far.
Yeah, the first few games, she's been coming off the bench.
Look at that. Nothing like getting a free point, as they say. Mylene Pat.
Yeah, well, in the pregame, we mentioned that in that win against Army, they had 8 service aces, and they need to play well and serve well, and they're doing that.
You're right. Good point. Buding. Backstop Buding by Justin Doro was there, obviously for defense. She was also a libero back in UP, among other things, other positions that she played in UP. 6-point lead for Santa Lucia.
Still serving, Joey Prado.
Santa Lucia ahead 8-2 here in set number 2 with a set 1 win. Prado is still serving and still serving very well.
Boy, the struggles of Chery Tiggo.
And those are like 2 liberos at the back already with Buding and Justin Doro technically.
Well, if you look at the front row of both teams right now, very strong front row with Mika Reyes, Phillips, and Sabete for Santa Lucia. So you want to take advantage.
Yeah, this is the biggest lead of the match. Any set, 7 points. Service aces so far. Only here in set number 2.
Yeah.
It belongs to Joey Prado.
3-0. Oh,
So now the broken plays and plays that are out of the system of Chery Tiggo not working. So the Mylene Pat experiment has not clicked so far. They bring back Din Din, Santiago Manabat, and continuing to serve is Jovi Prado with an 8-point lead.
yeah, much needed substitution in our opinion for Chery. Oh,
Bang. Jonah goes cross court with a lot of cut on that one. Told you, Jonah plays very well when Prado's with her.
that's true.
Let's listen in with the Ai Tinsay.
This morning, I had a chat with Rachel Ostera of the Chery Tiggo crossovers, and in this Ilocos bubble setup, the crossovers may be one of the best in court with their leading game plays, but they are also talented in crafting coffee with their espresso machine. Crafting different drinks to boost their energy may be one of their secrets to their victories, but the team also engages in prayer meetings before and after the game to up their morale. It's so inspiring to hear that the reason behind their solidified internal gelling on the court is that, according to Rachel, it's about maturity, setting aside emotions despite being homesick, choosing to have fun with your teammates even after training. It's about trusting the process and the system and translating the strength you've mustered through your personal challenges and giving it out into your best in the court. She said that they've been through enough and they will give what they can. Let's go back to the exciting face-off with the Chery Tiggo crossovers against the Santa Lucia Lady Realtors.
Exciting indeed, Ai, especially if you're a Santa Lucia fan, because you're up now by 9.
Tina Salak now in the fold for Chery Tiggo.
Kailangan na ng pagpalit dito, and that timeout, they stopped the bleeding. They break the spell of Joey Prado serves that have been so good for Santa Lucia.
Oh, still alive. Oh,
Nope. Arlindo says nope. And again, when Phillips is on that side, again she scores.
deadly. But right now, look at the front row of Chery Tiggo. You have the Santiago sisters right there. They want to take advantage of this rotation.
Another service ace. Oh boy, first ball problems.
Boy, it's really haunting them.
13-3. Biggest lead, 10.
Oh, good block.
Nobody home. For Yan Layug, ball gets rejected.
Yeah, that's frustration for you, obviously. Palomata, Phillips, very tall blockers right there. So when she saw these blockers' hands, tried to overthink it.
Again, first ball. So Tina Salak was forced to move into the net, her right elbow grazing that net, and a 12-point lead. I didn't think I would see that here in this match.
That's right. I mean,
Oh! Justin Dorog, it flies by her head. Mika Reyes celebrating. Second technical timeout, and a Bakers dozen lead. (16-13) is our score. Santa Lucia ahead over Santa Lucia ahead 16-13, the biggest lead of the match. We had a very hotly contested first set with Santa Lucia pulling away at the end of that first set. But this is a completely different story here in the second set. It's night and day, so to speak.
yeah, and if you're a Santa Lucia fan, you have to be happy. We talked about their blocking has to work. It's working. And their service is working. So that's why they have a very comfortable lead. Right now, Chery Tiggo, you have to, I always say, you have to cover. Your coverage has to be there, obviously not working. Obviously, first ball, they're struggling in that, so they have to address that.
May halong galit yung palo ni Dindin dun sa opposite side. Look at the service aces. That's 5 free points
In one set.
in one set. No entry that time.
Yeah, Jaja and Tina Salak teaming up for that.
You see the frustration in the face of Jaja.
She probably who would have thought that they'd be down 5, serving 17.
Biggest lead was 14. Palomata. Cheng, binulik kay MJ. MJ wasn't ready, but it still works.
Wow.
Now they're so good and lucky here in the second set that even the out-of-system plays are working.
Yeah, just the right top spin. And yeah, you're right. It actually, that hit surprised even Tina Salak.
They all thought it was the open that was going to get the ball from Janelle. And I believe that was Sabete waiting. But and MJ thought too.
Out of position, but she still gets that point.
Yan Layog. 6 serving 18.
Good serve.
Nice reaction there by Del. Was there a touch? Was there a touch? Wait, Erlindo says. No touch.
She tried though, she tried.
I don't know if you guys could hear that, but Erlindo Eusebio talking to Jovi Prado there to minimize the complaining. In volleyball, they say influencing.
Yeah.
Di ba? Do not influence the call.
Oh. Even she got it, is getting into the scoring act about Cheng.
Gulang eh. 19-7. Shaya will come back. 6 points away from a second set win.
Oh, better reception.
Jaja was there though.
Yeah. Textbook play there for Chery Tiggo, which is what you want to see. Better first ball. So Tina Salak just easy set to Jaja Santiago, and Santiago had all day.
Misreceived. Bang, chases. Double contact. She tried to get under that ball, but she was too late, a split second too late, which forced the reception error.
And Layog actually forgot Tina Salak was a setter. It was too low for her. She tried, but yeah, you're right. Too late to get beneath that.
Salak running.
The blocking of Santa Lucia on point.
And a spike of the set brought to you by Duncan.
Serve.
Underhand.
Oh, what a dig.
Oh, Coach Arcolio enjoyed that one. Salak chasing, gives it back. Prado. Phillips from the back row is too low.
Yeah, I mean, she was there, but you can see that split-second delay in her approach. But good, actually good intent, good thinking by Mika Reyes trying to change it up, setting it to the back.
That's in. Coach Arcolio disagrees.
It happened right in front of him. But his vantage point, you always say, that's why these linesmen are situated in certain areas, so they have the best actually vantage point.
He was
Fronting it.
yes, while the linesman was along the line. So as you mentioned, he had a better view talking about the linesman.
Yeah, it's a good call. It
Right
did
on the
clip
line.
yeah.
Right on the line.
Oh,
Oof. That's painful.
yeah, you don't want to see that at this juncture of this set. You're still down by 12 points. You're giving chase, and you commit the error.
Adorador receiving. Cheng.
Whoa.
And the revelation from the previous match, which technically, when you've been following volleyball, it's not really a revelation. You know the capability of Jovi Prado, but sometimes you're a new player in a new team. It will take time for you getting comfortable with certain teammates, with the play, with the coach,
Right.
with the setup. But Jovi is such a veteran And we've seen her in different teams, practically doing the same things ever since in all of the teams that she's played in, right?
Yeah, I think
Super consistent.
she is. You're right. And I think she's underrated. I mean, she's underrated. You know, they started out in this tournament. She's coming off the bench, but she's showing us, I mean, what kind of game she can give.
It's a nice block there on cue. As they get into set point, that's 13 set points. Their biggest lead was 14. But also, in fairness to everyone, as I said this yesterday, this is around the time in the tournament where coaches are also kind of really discovering strengths and weaknesses and rotations that
Right.
are. But it has to be done now, and it has to, kumbaga, get results now. Because again, short tournament, single round robin.
Yeah, and obviously that's the scouting, for you, that they're looking at each team differently so that they can field in, what the
Right,
coach feels
right.
the best six to play in that
And
match.
also within their team, they've not played tune-up matches with any other teams in their bubble or their training. So the first 2 or 3 matches are their tune-up matches
Right.
technically for them. For a lot of these teams, if not all of them. And now Santa Lucia, with a 2-sets-to-love lead, they are humming here in game number 1. So we're back on air here on One Sports and One Sports Plus. Boom Gonzalez, Noreen Go. We are about to start set number 3. Okay, let's give a little bit of an explanation. From what we heard from the venue, the rain, again, pouring hard, has caused a malfunction in one of the lights in the venue there in Ilocos Norte, the PCV Social, Civic, and Cultural Center in Bacara, Ilocos Norte. Now, Santa Lucia was willing to play. From what we heard earlier, the discussion nga ni Jovi Prado and first referee Erlindo Eusebio, Chery, Tiggo, again, this is all information that is being fed to us, did not want to play with that light malfunction. And parang meron din tulo yata ng konti, no? So, as always, safety first. We are not in the venue, so me and Noreen cannot fairly judge that lighting issue,
Situation,
whether
yeah.
it really is an issue to, whatever it is, because we can only speculate. Just for the record, that was the conversation. So now it was all sorted out, and we're back on deck here with Janelle Cheng starting us off for set number 3. Santa Lucia ahead 2-sets-to-love if you just tuned in, and 1-0 here in the third. How can you recap, Noreen, what has happened for viewers who are just tuning in right now? How can you recap set number 1 and set number 2 for them?
Well, Santa Lucia started out strong in both sets, and they were able to.
As we give you a spike of the set, brought to you by Duncan. Sorry, go ahead,
Go
Noreen.
ahead. Yeah, and they were able to maintain it throughout the first and second set. We talked about it in the pregame that, Santa Lucia has got to serve better and block better, and they have been. So that's what's going on with Santa Lucia. For Chery, you have all these struggles in your side, your first ball. So the most important thing right now is to focus here in the third set.
Okay,
Don't
yeah.
focus on the delay.
Right.
Focus on what went wrong in the first 2 sets. Address that and fight here in the third set because you need to win this third set.
And sometimes the delays can kill the momentum of the other team. Sometimes walang pagbabago yung paglalaro. So yan ang aabangan natin. Santa Lucia ahead so far 3-1. Let's check the lineups. It is Maylene Paat, Tina Salak, Dindin Santiago Manabat, Rachel Ostero, Buding Doremdes, and Yanyan Layug, the 6 for Chery, Tiggo. 1 serving 3 here.
Bit of a comic relief there. Tina Salak serving with a boy there trying to wipe the floor.
That's legal. A legal hit gives the chance ball here for Chery Tiggo. They open to Paat. Paat denied. A reaction there by Mika Reyes. Reyes again, too low on that one. Reyes is joined by Sabete, Prado, Janelle Cheng, MJ Phillips, and I believe Bang Pineda as the 6 for Santa Lucia, who are ahead 2 sets to love and 3-2.
Yeah, it's the same 6 for Santa Lucia, and why change it? It's working for you.
Phillips picks it up. Pineda with the get. Double contact on Janelle. Tied ball game here in the third.
Yeah, if you're Chery, that's what you want, no? You know that in the first 2 sets, you let Santa Lucia actually control the tempo of the game. So right now, you got to change it up.
Judging from the reaction of Janelle, she knew it as soon as she touched the ball. That it was a double contact. Sabete getting the point there on the cross court.
You can't erase those facial reactions.
Hule. 4-3. First set was a very tight set. And Santa Lucia ending that set with a 5-1 run to finish off Chery Tiggo. Pero yung second set, tinambakan po ng Santa Lucia at Chery Tiggo. Which brings us to now 5 serving 3.
Yeah, defense really spelling the difference right now for Santa Lucia. And what I like, Sabete is not the tallest of players, but when she goes up, we talked about her hang time earlier. It's like she pauses and waits for the blocker, waits for the ball.
Hang time.
Yeah.
Oh. No, they're not going to go for a check. Ostero thought it touched the blocker, but no, it didn't.
Yeah, went for an angle there, but too wide.
The Coron started for Chery Tiggo earlier, but minimal court time for her so far. 6-3. Salak will go reverse. Pat. Mika.
Oh, still alive.
Jovi Prado. Orculio says, Coach Orculio says, relax lang. Oh, nobody home. Nobody at the back.
Good blocking on the side of Chery right now. That's what you have to work on. Better first ball, we gotta say. They're receiving much better at the start of this third set.
At 4, serving 6. And Cheng outsmarting Chery Tiggo there at the last split second, dropping the ball in the middle.
She's making it look so easy.
For many years. You can hear the rain. The rain's pretty strong. I bet here too, outside, I'm sure, here in Manila.
The entire week.
Yeah, exactly. 7, serving 4. Salak, Din smacks that ball with a little bit of interest to make sure.
You can see Jovi Prado's reaction after she was shaking her hand. That's how strong that hit was.
5, serving 7.
Good serve.
Over receive.
Oh.
Wow, the Santiago sisters cannot believe this. They might have a case there, Noreen.
I'd like to see that again.
Yeah, me too. But we'll have to wait because right now, technical timeout. 8-5 is our score. Let's look at that, Noreen. Umover na ba? Ooh, parang borderline. Parang umabot na sa kabila, ano?
Yeah.
Parang, ha?
I think the Santiago sisters have a case there, but
Okay. Well, the call sticks. Erlindo Eusebio has made the decision, so 8-5. Bola ng Santa Lucia on offense. That one's not over, so Del Palomata was safe on that one. Chery, Tiggo under the gun here. Down 4 and down 2 sets.
well, Jaja Santiago's in front. You've got to get that pass. Tina Salak's gotta go to her. Crunch time right now for them because they're down 2 sets.
With a good, how many minutes did we take a break? Like around 15?
Around 15.
15 to 20 minutes, yeah. So as you look at the numbers, she's coming off a 14-point performance, talking about MJ Phillips. Again, #1 scorer of the league. The 8th best scorer of the league and 2nd best spiker of the league has not made an appearance today from Santa Lucia. So far, parang hindi kinailangan ang mga pamatay ni Queen,
Yeah.
numero 8.
Well, it's also a good opportunity for her to actually
Rest and recover because she
Yeah.
is older than everybody else here in Santa Lucia, I would assume. Not over Tina Salak, but but here in the Santa Lucia side, for sure.
Yeah, but the way she plays, though,
No,
actually, both of them.
definitely. But yeah, you're right. No, actually, good point. The veterans, Ging,
Ging, yeah.
diba? Aiza, Sue Roses, para sa Perlas, ganda rin na linalaro. And then si Tina Salak, Reyes. Blocked, but it's out. Man, it sounds like it's pouring like crazy at the venue, or at least outside the venue.
Raining all over the country. But if you're Chery, you like the way now they're attacking. You know, they're not just hitting it straight to that wall or the blockers, angling their attacks, getting the point.
Woo! So smart, Janelle Cheng. Tina Salak tried to keep it in play pero dumaplis lang ang bola. Maintaining a 4-point lead.
And blowing her hands, saying, okay, these are lucky hands right now.
This girl inserted into the starting lineup today. Actually, the last game and today. And is not disappointed. Baba. Is the set was also initially low ba, Noreen, for Jaja?
Too low for comfort for me, but that's why they're discussing it right now with Tina Salak. But for me, you have to make two. I mean, it's low. What are you gonna do? Once the ball is away from the setter, it's your responsibility.
Wait up for our second game. Bali Pure Water Defenders, the talk of the town, with 2 straight wins. And they go up against the undefeated Creamline Cool Smashers. That is match number 24. That's coming up today, second game of our Wednesday doubleheader.
That's going to be an interesting match.
Very interesting. And you look at Bombita, the player of the week, the first ever player of the week, against one of her idols, Eliza Valdez. You got Gemma Galanza going up against former teammate Bern Flora. Gaganda ng mga matchups.
Yeah.
You know, the setter in Gia Morado, and then Alina Bicar. I'm correct, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
Bicar.
It's a good matchup.
I love the way you put all these sub-stories
Yeah,
together.
of course. That's what makes it fun for them, not just the teams. Ganda ng mga matchup. Then yung dalawang lasalista na opposite hitter, isang veterano na bumabaw at si Baroga naman para sa Bali Pure. So very, very good. I love that matchup later on in the second game. I think it will be Eric Tipan and Doc AJ Parea for that one. In the meantime, 8-12. Make that 9-12 after the mishit for Jonas Sabete. This was promising to be like the second game. Yung expectations ko for this match, Noreen, was very promising, especially after that first set.
Yeah, we thought it would go the distance actually, but even if Chery's down right now by 4, they can still
Oh,
manage.
definitely.
But they have to start now and not with those service errors again.
If you're Santa Lucia and right now it's 13-9, I wanna mention that they do have something to worry about still as we finish this rally. Salak will push it to the other side. Phillips. Salak down the pipe, and Pineda couldn't keep it in play.
Yeah, too close for comfort between Prado and Pineda.
After the win, Noreen, of Santa Lucia against Black Mamba Army, Coach Orculio of Santa Lucia said, ang sakit namin, yung titigil kami, tapos tatrabaho kami ulit, titigil ulit, tatrabaho kami ulit. So simple lang ang sinabi niya, nandito na tayo, trabahuin na natin ng dire-diretso hanggang sa dulo, or else magsisisi lang daw sila that we didn't maximize this tournament. So he said that because yun yung disappointment niya dun sa tatlong talo nila. Na parang may magandang mangyari tapos wala. So I'm bringing this up now because there were up 2 sets and coming from a very, very good second set. So all eyes are on Santa Lucia now. Are they going to let Chery Tiggo back into this game? If I may quote Coach Orculio, titigil ba kami? Or tutuloy-tuloyin ba namin yung aming trabaho? So yan ang aabangan natin, Noreen.
Yeah, but we know that from that last game against Army, they kind of learned. We always say they learned from their past mistakes and they played more consistently, which is what is needed from Santa Lucia.
And by the way, they did lose that third set in Black Army.
Yeah.
22-25. Open. So this is not a one-ball game. That's my point here, especially because we're quoting the coach himself, saying that he wants consistency from start to finish. If it's a good game, he wants it to be a full good game.
But again, the importance of this game for Santa Lucia, to get to the Final Four, they want to win this, and they're up 2 sets. But right now, Chery Tiggo, they're happy because Dindin Santiago is carrying this Chery Tiggo team.
Yeah, this is too close for comfort for them right now. 13 will be serving 14. Just a reminder, Chery Tiggo is at 3-1, and Santa Lucia is at 2-3. Unforced errors for both teams on your screens. Pretty good for Santa Lucia so far. A manageable 13. Jonas Abete, too much power on that one.
Yep,
In a good way.
In a good way.
Yes, yes.
Using the blockers to
Right.
her advantage.
Bump set by Janelle. She gets out of the way of the launching pad of Jonas Abete.
And chose who to challenge, which is the smaller blocker in Ostero.
15 will be serving 13. Salak. Lefty for Ostero. Tomahawk dig. Nagawan pa ng paraan yun. Dindin comes up short. Salak will open. Tosses it to Layug. Salak will go to the other side. Dindin finishes the play.
Well, they were complaining that Layug's spike did not go over. But again, do not react because you have to wait till the referee to blow his whistle.
Walang pito.
Oh. So, na-delay tuloy. Del Palomata was actually already complaining as well.
14 serving 15. Excellent receptions on your screens. Phillips finding something there. Dindin again, cross court. Phillips sends it back to Dindin. Quick reaction by Dindin. But at the net, the door was shut by Palomata and Phillips for the 2-point lead to the second technical timeout. 16-14, Santa Lucia ahead by 2 and by 2 sets. That girl has started for them for the last 2 matches, not MJ, but Jovi. MJ has started in all of the matches of Santa Lucia. What a dig there, oh sorry, what a dig set there by Janelle Cheng. You know, the better setters in the league talaga, they find a way, even if it's out of position,
Yeah.
they bump it to the right person. And the right person was Jovi Prado.
Well, what about that hit by Jovi Prado? Realizing a tall Din just hitting it upward off the block.
Another chance here for Santa Lucia. Jovi pushes.
Oh.
Somebody touched the net. It was Din who was caught. Unfortunately called by Nestor Matematico. And Coach Aaron calls a timeout. Rin si Jasmine Nabor, di na rin nabalik ni Coach Aaron, no? She started. And we haven't seen her back in that as they lost that first set. Actually, hindi naman. She started the second set also, but nung kumakawala yung Santa Lucia in that second set, nagpalit si Coach Aaron and put in Tina Salak. And we haven't seen Jasmine back.
Yeah, well, obviously he is hoping that Tina Salak can, you know, try to perk up this team. Oh.
Reminiscent of the second set when they had a lot of those service aces. Chery Tiggo having a hard time receiving here. Shaya Dorador, who started today also, just like the last match, is back on deck for Chery. Biggest deficit for them here in the third. They faced a 14-point deficit in the second. Wow, that crawled over.
That was lucky.
Which leads to this chance ball, but Jaja says no entry.
Well, that's a good start. You're Chery, you want a rally, that's a good start. One stuff block. Let's serve better. Let's try to get into this set. Good serve.
Again, inakyat na lang yung bola kay Jovi talaga, and Jovi does the rest. She's seen it all, done it all, been with different teams, and she looks the same. She flies the same way for all these years, and she's still able to manufacture attacks, even from broken plays.
Really, throughout this tournament, you know, she will win a lot of fans. She's just so smart. Just so smart, looking at where she's going to put the ball.
Palamata, though, sends it wide. So Chery still in this, but they need to make their move. Mika Reyes getting ready on offense. She could serve.
2 straight points for Chery. And you want to do it, boom, with Jaja in front. You want to do that.
Nako, maniniguro si Coach Edison Orculio. He's not gonna wait till that lead dwindles. Aiza Pontillas warming up there, simulating a jump rope. Depends on how this set will go. We still might see Aiza, but right now they're still in control. And Coach Ed calls the timeout right away just to preempt any kind of run or possible run from Chery Tiggo.
They need to serve well here.
Sa Dorador.
Yep.
Over received. So even with the timeout, and now Coach Ed looks at the bench. Let's see if he's going to make any kind of adjustment. Sounds like it. Wow.
Oh, you're talking about her, Boom.
And a double substitution too. First time we're seeing Ruby De Leon. And then the silent assassin, Aiza Maizo Pontillas, to try to save this set. Even if they're still in the lead by 2. They were up by 5 eh.
Yeah, they can sense that Chery Tiggo has the momentum right now.
At syempre, alam nung depensa, pupuntahan si Aiza. They loaded up on Aiza's side, Noreen.
Yep. That was just great anticipation for you. But if you're Santa Lucia, you want that element of surprise. You know, Aiza Maiza's there, but you want to give it to somebody else.
Exactly. Balik kay Aiza. And somebody touched the net. Even if nobody touched that net, I think Aiza would have scored anyway.
So they're sticking to their guns and going to Aiza. But that was a beautiful combination play executed. I mean,
Kasi nahatak ni Mika yung ano.
yeah, it's sad lang na it was a net violation, but it was a beautifully orchestrated play.
Reverse set. Jaja on top of the ball. Tighter finish here in set number 3.
Jaja's at the back right now, but she is a good server and she can, give problems right now to Santa Lucia.
And very good at digging too. And of course, that pipe attack from the back row. Oop, sumabit. Malamig na malamig si Ruby De Leon. And her shoulder grazed that net. So this is from a 5-point deficit. Chery Tiggo has climbed back and has tied and a chance to go for the lead here.
Pounding on the doors of Santa Lucia. Still alive, still alive.
What will Santa Lucia do? Go to Aiza. That's a tip.
Oh, what a
Prado with a
save.
save. Sabete on the attack.
Oh,
In between the blockers.
boy, these wing hitters of Santa Lucia just playing it smart.
So Pontillas will move out. As we look at the spike of the set, brought to you by Duncan.
And I like what you said, Boom, about Sabete and Prado getting energy from each other.
Yes. I really believe that.
Yeah?
I really think they're very comfortable playing together.
Better first ball.
Oof. Wow, Pineda. Good anticipation, but the point still goes to Chery Tiggo, courtesy of Ostero. 22 all, set number 3. And Nestor Matematico will make sure that that little spot that has been bothersome for the last couple of days.
Good serve. Oh,
What happened there?
hitting error by Jonas Sabete. That's huge.
That's a timeout that's going to be called by Orgullo because now Santa Lucia, who are up by 5, is down 1. It is 23-22. Unforced errors. Binati pa naman natin kanina yung Santa Lucia with only 12 if I'm not mistaken. They commit 5 in this set. So kaya humabol itong Chery Tiggo because of those 5 errors here in this set. Pero nakabawi ng isang puntos courtesy of Marjana Phillips.
Well, crucial moments here.
It's a good timeout by Coach Orculio.
Needed, much needed for Santa Lucia.
Buding. Salak to Ostero. Chance here for the white shirts. Cheng.
Oh,
Sabete brings them to match point.
and a collision there. They look like they're okay.
Well, don't speak too soon.
No, I'm talking about the collision.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes, yeah.
I paused. I hate looking at those.
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
Good serve.
Santa Lucia, let's see if they have recovered. Pat will send it. Broken play, out of system. But we are going into an extension here. Set number 3.
But I like the attitude of Miley Pat. That was a shank reception. Broken play. Then she said she made up for it. Made up for it.
She's now with a chance to serve. Pineda. Sweet, sweet set.
Oh,
Hits the antenna. And for the first time, a set point will belong to Chery Tiggo.
that's crucial error there by MJ Phillips.
Chery Tiggo looking to stay alive in this match.
Another good serve.
Cheng. Chance for Chery Tiggo. They keep it alive. Pineda sets it to Phillips. Set point. Tindin. Pineda. Sabete. Tense moments here. Tindin.
Oh!
And we go into a set number 4. Chery Tiggo. Kumapit. Nabuhay. And they're still alive. Welcome back to your continuing exclusive coverage for One Sports and One Sports Plus of your Premier Volleyball League. We were complimenting Santa Lucia for the 12 unforced errors in 2 sets. And then all of a sudden, they jack it up to 9 in 1 set.
Well, that's the story. Everything else is even in a close
You're
set.
right.
13-3-1. 2 unforced errors, and you're talking about yeah,
Those are the 2 points.
2 points, 2 unforced errors happening towards the end of that set, you know. But we have to give it to Chery Tiggo and Dindin Santiago Manabat for carrying Chery Tiggo in towards the end of that third set. They hung tough. They could have lost. They could have just given up, but they didn't. You know, they're showing maturity as what we said in the pregame, and they're taking us to a fourth set.
Down 5, 15-20. They made 3 straight points. Coach Edward Colio calls the timeout. Still couldn't stop the bleeding. They made a point after that timeout, but everything was Chery Tiggo after that. And of course, the separation in the end. So we're on to a set 4, which is kind of what we expected. Again, from the top of the coverage, we did say that we were expecting a tight match between these two. That's why we were really shocked on how that set number 2 happened.
What was the score? Set number?
But it ended well. It at one point they were down 14 points
Yeah.
in set number 2. So we're on to set number 3. Sorry, set number 4.
And obviously there's new life for this Chery Tiggo squad.
MJ Phillips, who committed that hitting error at the end of set 3, gets us going here in set 4.
But let's not talk about that error. I mean, you didn't really feel MJ Phillips towards that middle part and towards the end of that third set because they weren't going to her. And she has a hot hand. We have to say that. She played well. Spectacular. First and second set. So they have to go to her. They supposedly had to go to her at that time. Talking about Phillips, 16 points in this match. Sabete with 12. Manabat, we talk about her carrying this team now with 14 points. And Jaja with 9 points.
Ganun-ganun lang. Biglang 14 na si Dindin, eh?
I think 7 at the end of the second set. So she scored.
Wow.
She
Doubled
doubled, yeah.
by the third. Too soft an attack. Something you can't say about that attack from Dindin.
You can see, look into her eyes. You know, I mean, you know she's focused. She wants to win this set again to bring us to a fifth set.
Just as we said, as Coach Ed Orgullo was complaining to his girls about their characteristic of stopping and starting and stopping and starting. Ayun na nga. This is what happens here.
Yeah.
Now they're down 3. That's why volleyball is such a beautiful game, especially those 5 matches, because not that I'm saying that it's going to 5, but I'm just saying that it can turn. These matches can turn even if you think na wala nang pag-asa yung isang team. 2015 was our score at one point for Santa Lucia.
And this is a professional league.
Yung
You
pa.
cannot count anyone out.
With the Santiago sisters
Yeah.
on the other end. Pamela Stimosa right there. Aiza Pontillas, who had a brief stint in set number 3.
But here's a food for thought. Was she injected into the game a little too late?
Too late.
Could be.
That can be up for debate, of course. That can be a discussion.
Boy, this is a different Chery Tiggo team altogether. Now you can sense they're more aggressive. You know, it's like they woke up from a deep sleep.
Well, that long 15-minute break may have done wonders to them. It's happened in a lot of other sports. Tennis, that happens when there's like a rain delay, right? And then they have to close the venue and all that, and all of a sudden a match turns to the other player. So they're all human. Momentum can halt. But That's also looking for an excuse if you're, you know what I mean? Because again, they were up 2015. It's not like they played very bad after the break, talking about Santa Lucia.
Yeah.
They were playing well. Very good at, actually. It's just that point that they just all of a sudden fell asleep. And now they scored 2 straight points.
And as you say that, you have to realize that Chery Tiggo is a strong team. So you cannot, give them that luxury of, okay, you're going to play bad now, the stretch, and well, that's just Chery Tiggo. They're Chery Tiggo.
Again, all you have to really say is what I said earlier. They have the Santiago sisters, so they're always going to be potent if you
Yeah.
give them a chance. That's out. 7-4. Sorry, 7-3.
Yeah, if you're Santa Lucia right now, you have to relax. Okay, yes, you let the third set slip away, yes, but that's over and done with. Right now, you feel like they're trying too hard, going for tough angles. Just try to look for the spot. You were very successful doing that. Talking about Sabete and Prado.
Sabete receiving there. Phillips again on the other side. Maybe a little bit of MJ Phillips is what they need.
Yeah. She has to take over here in this fourth set.
2 late blockers there. Good set there. A faster 1-2 from Janelle Cheng. Double contact.
She's not complaining. But this is also one player hasn't gotten enough sets in this match. Talking about Mika Reyes.
Another technical timeout and Chery in the lead. Dindin will serve for Chery Tiggo, are up by 3, 8-5.
Good serve. Oh, good serve. Good serve.
Parang nagkabaliktaran na tayo dito. Ang Chery is the one loading their serves and Santa Lucia misreceiving.
And
That was set number 2, the story. Pero kabila naman.
yeah, and on cue, you actually just mentioned the Santiago sisters. Apparently, they just gave us what the Santiago sisters can do. A good serve and a kill there by Jaja.
Hinatid sa kabila.
Oh,
Everything rolling for Chery Tiggo here in set number 4.
yeah, just finding that spot there. Talking about Shaya Adorador. You're talking about Dindin and actually Jaja, good defenders as well. 3 excellent things.
Better attack there by Sabete. Good news for Santa Lucia. This is early in set 4. Can still try to recover if they want to. For Chery Tiggo naman, you want to make a statement and make sure you pound it early. Maybe get some separation para tuloy-tuloy yung kumpiyansa mo.
Yeah, and you can see for Santa Lucia why they're going to the wing hitters more than the centers because of the respect they have with the blocking prowess of Chery Tiggo. But here in the fourth set, since you lost the third set, you may want to change it up a bit. You know, I always said the element of surprise. So you gotta get them involved, and let's see. Let's fight fire with fire.
Cheng. Marlene Pat mishandling that one. Sabete will be credited for that point. That was Sabete, right?
Yeah.
The back.
Off-speed hit, just caught Mylene Pa at flat-footed there.
Pat again. Cheng will open up to Prado.
What a dig.
And the tip by Tina Salak at the open spot.
Yeah, but we gotta give credit to the Remdes for that
Yeah.
excellent dig.
One hand. See it in the face of Jaja. She looks very different from that set number 2 where it was all frustration.
Yeah.
Frustrating.
Yeah, that's service error. But I also noticed one thing about Santa Lucia. They're serving more to Buding the Remdes. If you're Santa Lucia, you want to change that. You want to target somebody else. On cue.
Kinuha ni Buding. Parang inagaw. You know how some liberos do that, right?
Yeah.
Like they take it from the targeted receiver. Ostero finds a way to score. She apologizes because that was out of system. But she still makes... Salak was going to go for the set.
Yeah.
So a different 1-2 play there.
She'll take it. It's still a point for
Oy,
Chery.
talk about element of surprise. Nagulat tuloy in Santa Lucia.
Ay, pati ang Chery nagulat. The dig. Oh!
Salak couldn't get to it.
Maybe 10 years ago.
Up. Nag-uusap-usap pa sila. Get.
It's like, help! Help me!
Pat from the other side. Santa Lucia just slower to the ball here in set number 4.
Yeah, you can sense that, no? I mean,
Bumigat bigla yung mga paa.
Exactly. I mean, it's evident in that reception. Sabeta didn't even move, just raised her hands.
Cheng will reverse it to Prado. Pat was there. Pineda saw that. Phillips on the open. Good reaction by Ostero, but not able to make something out of that. So Santa Lucia sticking by here. Not letting the set just go like that.
That's changing it up. Talking about Cheng. Yun yung gulat.
At mahirap yun because she was farther from the net. It's not one of those like tips.
Yeah.
1-2 plays na napakalapit sa net. Nice double quick. Tintin has been the one responsible for this comeback.
This is one of her better games, really.
Best for sure in this
Yeah.
tournament. For sure.
You know, you can see the difference in terms of energy.
The lead is now 5. And another net touch, another error, and another technical timeout with Chery Tiggo ahead.
isipan lang natin, ang gawin natin basic lang din. Isipan lang natin, tapos takayin natin. Tinitibayan na sa top, tibayan natin sa taas. Diba? Nakaka-receive naman eh, kaya lang hindi ko maabot. Baka kailangan tulak ng pa. Tapos tulak tayo sa set.
Still serving for Chery, Tiggo,
Well, for those who just joined us, this is the Premier Volleyball League, Chery Tiggo versus Santa Lucia. And Santa Lucia actually won the first 2 sets. Chery Tiggo crawled their way back in the 3rd set, but eventually prevailed, and now they're looking good. Up 16 to 10. Now 16 to 11 with that MJ Phillips kill. Well, Chery needs to win this set to force a decisive 5th set, and they're looking good. But Santa Lucia, they have to, from that technical timeout, what they want is really to get their bearings back. They just have to regroup, focus, and relax. Eileen Paat. Oh, miscue there. Oh, that's what you don't want to see. Unforced errors there. Miscommunication on the side of Santa Lucia.
Biggest lead of the set now at 6. And the errors piling up for Santa Lucia in sets 3 and 4.
Oh, good take.
It's a completely different ball game. If you tuned in earlier, fell asleep maybe, or stood up, or got food, and then talked to family, and then you come back, and all of a sudden it's like this.
Okay naman ang set ng first ball, sino kukuha ko? Sino mag-sit ang sama natin? Ayaw na magsalita eh. Babagsak ko lang ganun lang. Simple naman ang trabaho natin. Puro tayo sa talaga, ayaw yung trabaho eh. Tingnan mo yung puntos, namalay na namalay eh.
It's really nothing else you can add or say to what Coach Edward Colio is saying, and I think that's his last time out already here in this set. So it's like either they let go of this one or they mount a comeback
Yeah,
here in set 4.
Yeah, he's reminding the girls, you have to work for it. You don't just say it. That's why he said, tara, tara. Everyone's saying that, but they're not working. You have to communicate. You have to know your movement.
And he was also gesturing na parang, oh, ganito lang yung ginagalaw nyo, hindi kayo hindi full effort, parang ganon.
Which is sad because we saw the way Santa Lucia played in the first 2 sets, and this is really far.
My partner Noreen Go was actually saying this is the best Santa Lucia I've seen in the tournament so far in the first 2 sets.
Yeah. But again, you have to give it to Chery Tiggo. They're not going to just roll over and give the match to Santa Lucia.
Coach Aaron preempting everything. 2 straight points by Santa Lucia. Magta-timeout na siya kagad.
Still serving for Santa Lucia.
2 straight points after the Ed Orculio timeout. Santa Lucia behind by 5.
Better reception. Not the best, but still alive.
Over. And I say 9 out of 10 times. 9 out of 10 times. That is an automatic point.
You look at the numbers right there, 8 service aces compared to 3. But this 8, I think, happened early on in this match. So,
Yung karamihan nun, nasa second set
Second
actually.
set.
Si Joey Prado nga, di ba, nakatatlong sunod pa nga yata.
yes. Which goes to show also, Chery Tiggo adjusted.
Yan.
You know?
Everything, they're doing everything better.
Yeah.
They have to give credit where credit is due. They are forcing Santa Lucia to look different from what we saw in the first 2 sets. Having said all of that, this is not done. If you're Santa Lucia, you have to try to fight back here. Kasi baka madala mo rin. Kahit matalo ka sa set na to, if you don't fight back, that kind of body language might roll over to set 5. So you have to at least start something here.
Yeah. Which is a shorter set.
If I may, when you look at the Bally Pure Chery Tiggo match, that's what Bally Pure did. They looked bad in one set, the first set. They came back, and then even if they lost that first set, gumanda yung laro
Yeah.
ng second set dahil nagkaroon sila ng rhythm. That's double contact on Phillips.
Yeah, and I remember when I was watching it, they just kept challenging and kept fighting and fighting. And
Right.
eventually, they wore Chery Tiggo down.
But now it's Chery Tiggo showing their comebacking abilities. And like I said, we have to give them credit. They look dead in the water already. 15-20 in set number 3. Down 15-20 in set number 3. Down 2 sets. I'm recapping for people who just tuned in. And now they're ahead by 20-15 in set number 4.
Oh, still alive. Finally, Adele Palomata kill. I'm saying,
the middle.
We haven't been mentioning Mika Reyes or Del Palomata, at least in the last 3 sets. So if you're Santa Lucia, again, you may want to get them involved.
Salak. Pat. Cheng saw that coming. Prado. Salak will go for the 1-2. Phillips digging. Prado. 16-20 is our score. Kabila. Cheng. Oh!
Oh, she would really want that back. Again, good intentions, but the execution wasn't there.
#21 serving 16. Nice serve.
Yeah.
Good attack by Prado.
That was what she was successful with, going down the line. I mean, credit to Adore because she has been digging well.
This is just 4 points, by the way. Anything can still happen. If you're Chery Tiggo, you cannot let go of the gas pedal.
Yeah.
Gotta stay aggressive. Chance ball for the white shirts. Cheng. Open at the back. No 1-2 play there this time for Cheng, Coach Aaron will call a timeout. Chery on top is what they shout during the timeout. Well, they are right now by 3, down 1 set, but looking to force only the fifth set in this Premier Volleyball League Open Conference.
Yeah, and you like that timeout because you can sense that Santa Lucia is fighting back.
This was around the time when Coach Edward Colio called his timeout nung sila yung hinabol
Yeah.
in that third set. Just a little earlier by a point. Oh, it's a touch by Pat. Before getting the point, couldn't control her momentum, no?
She was hoping that the ball had touched the floor before
Yes.
she touched the net because she knew she touched the net. That's why she was clarifying, but the second referee already called it.
It's Nestor Matematico. Salak, open. Now here comes the Santa Lucia comeback.
Huge block.
Yeah, at exactly the same point where Chery Tiggo came back in set number 3. Boy, we're seeing everything in this match.
Yeah, and I mentioned that we haven't mentioned Mika Reyes and MJ
Right.
Phillips teaming up for that huge block. Oh,
Bumawi si Mylene. Oh, that's crucial. That was a crucial kill.
and it's actually in the position she's really comfortable with. The opposite.
It's a great point. (22-20). Good dig there.
Yeah.
Din, Bumuelo. Oh, but the net touch called by Nestor Matematico on MJ Phillips.
That's huge. That's a huge error there.
If Chery Tiggo wins this set, that Mylene Pat kill might have been the one that really sealed this one.
Yeah.
After an error too. That was after her net touch
Yeah.
error. So bumawi.
Tsaka we've been, the fans have been waiting for a breakout game by Mylene Pat.
Chery Tiggo is a point away from forcing the 5th set.
Now the question is, does Santa Lucia have it in them to make one big stop and, mount a comeback here in the 4th set? Lifeline.
Four set points. One save. Prado will move to the back to serve.
They're going to need good service from Jovi Prado.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, the one who was serving so well earlier. The 9th best in the league in terms of serving after 10 competition days.
Oh,
And just as we say that, Santa Lucia will fall and Chery Tiggo will live for the 5th set. All here on One Sports and One Sports Plus.
Ito yun, actual. Paano natin pumihandle sa situation na yan? Isip tayo. Ay, kung nasaan ang katapat, mas malayo pa. Sige, iwan na natin ang Paano tayo?
Santa Lucia, first two sets, 12 errors. The third and fourth set, Noreen, 18 errors para sa Lady Realtors to bring life to the campaign of the Chery Tiggo crossovers, who are now alive and kicking and are ready for set number 5.
Yeah, you know, when you look at the numbers, it actually does not relate too much to the what we've been watching or covering, which is the fourth set, because it was actually Chery Tiggo starting out strong, you know, Santa Lucia chasing, but in the end, again, you know, Chery Tiggo maintaining the poise,
Right.
to win that fourth set. So right now it's a fresh set, a shorter set, the fifth set, and you gotta forget about all the four sets and just play to win the fifth set.
So we're on to the third, fifth set of the PVL season, and the first one without Carmela Tunay.
Are you gonna welcome me to the
Hello,
five-setter
partner.
club?
Yeah, it was me and her for the very first one, and then Anthony and her for the second one. And now Noreen is introduced to 5 sets here in this season. And the first point goes to Santa Lucia. Can they recover here?
Oh, good dig.
Chovy. 2 straight points in set number 5.
Yeah, and you like the way Santa Lucia started that with a running hit by Mika Reyes, which is what we were saying in the fourth set. They have to get the middles involved right now because Chery has already gotten their number. Ooh.
Killing your own momentum with a service error. The only time that Janelle Cheng was taken out was towards the end of the third set, when Coach Orculio tried to stop the rally of Chery Tiggo and brought in Ruby De Leon and Aiza Maizo Pontillas. that expression says it all.
Yeah, I mean, it's the reception that was a problem. Obviously, Cheng could not handle that. Oh, wow.
Sapete with a heater there. And by the way, we still have Bally Pure and Creamline coming up in the second game.
Yeah, and for those who were looking at that schedule and already saying, oh, it's Creamline, you don't know what can happen with Bally Pure playing.
Their confidence really high right now.
Yeah.
Double contact on Salak. Coach Ed Orculio will take it. 4-2. Lady Realtors. We've seen it many times. 2 sets up, 2-set comeback. But how will this end? We did expect it from the start that this was going to be a tight one. We did not expect how set number 2 happened, as Mylene Pad has been reborn here.
Yeah. Again, we said we were waiting for a breakout game, and she has been big in the last 2 sets at least. Wow, look at that reaction.
No Micah Ortiz, by the way, who is, I don't think she's in uniform. We saw her earlier.
Yeah.
Kept alive by Phillips. Free ball for Chery. They go to the run and gun, but it was read well by Sabete. Was it Sabete or
It is.
Palomata?
It was
Sabete, no?
Sabete. You like the way she adjusted her hand in midair, just followed that hit of Dindin Santiago and read it well.
So she goes to the service deck, which means Prado is in front. It's a good serve.
Yeah.
That is out. Good angle of the serve of Sabete, which set that all up.
Yeah, but Santiago has been playing well. You don't want to see that here in the 5th set.
Lamang ng tatlo, Santa Lucia. Timeout by Coach Aaron as his team is down 3 here at the beginning of the 5th set.
Well, but if you're Santa Lucia, you have to be happy with your start. 6 serving 3.
Salak will bump it. Again,
Oh.
another strike from Dindin that goes long. You see, and that's why I say that even if you're probably going to lose a set, you don't let it go. You have to fight back because you just don't know what's going to happen at the start of the next set. And I think that was a good sign that Santa Lucia made that rally in the end of that 4th, Noreen.
Yeah.
Because it gave them a little energy to start this 5th set.
Yeah, that's true. Obviously, they're getting how they started here with the way they ended, as you mentioned. And you like the way these teams are adjusting to the situations. But right now, if you're Chery Tiggo, you have to settle down. I mean, don't look at the score right now. Just minimize your errors.
Ooh, what a block. What a rejection.
Yeah, single block coverage by Jaja Santiago. Reading that well.
8th best in the league is Jaja. And trying to pump up her teammates too. They're down 2. Mahaba pa to. 5 serving 7.
Good serve.
Prado down the line, so smart.
She has been doing that the entire match. She probably would thought, why did I go cross court earlier? I've been very successful going down the line.
8 serving 5. Phillips. Salak. Wow, Dindin has just been spectacular today. Regardless of some of those missed hits, I mean, if it weren't for her, Noreen, they wouldn't even be close to a set 5, talking about Chery Tiggo.
Like I said, she literally carried her team on her shoulders in that 3rd and 4th set.
6 serving 8. Look at the numbers.
18
On
points.
17 attacks. Ganda, lusot. Prado has been good too, not only today, but also in their last match.
Yeah, getting the start in the last two games.
Too late. Palomata serving with a 3-point lead.
Still alive.
Shaya. Palomata tried to crawl and get a hand on it.
Even how tall she is, she couldn't get to that.
This set is still up in the air. 7 serving 9. Cheng will open to Prado.
Oh.
And again, guess where she went? Down the line, cross court, down the line. Those are the last 3 hits of Prado.
She's obviously reading her blockers. She's choosing when to go down the line, when to challenge the not judges Santiago. And she has been successful just using her volleyball IQ there.
She's had some great serving also here in this match. Santiago from the back row. Sabete rolls it to the other side. Buding. Chance ball for the white shirts. That's in. Wow, I thought that was too strong. But it drops in at the corner and gives them a 4-point lead. Back here at the tail end of this 5th set, Santa Lucia ahead by 4, 11-7.
Good serve.
It's good timeout by Coach Aaron as Jaja Santiago breaks the defense there at the net. Cuts the lead down to 3.
Crucial serves. They need big serves from Jaja. Oh,
Too big a serve.
that's gotta hurt for Chery Tiggo.
That's gotta hurt. You're right. That is expensive. $12 serving 8.
And a full front row for Santa Lucia.
Ostero handled by Cheng. Oh! She doesn't agree.
The referees have been really calling these.
We've had a lot.
Yeah,
We've had a lot of
today.
double contacts today.
More than other days.
Maybe, yes, you may be right there. Push by Mika Reyes. Same for Dindin, who found that little corner, that little spot. 2-point lead, Santa Lucia. Their turn to call a timeout. So it was 12-8 for Santa Lucia. 2 straight points for the red shirts of Chery Tiggo. With Tina Salak serving.
Oh,
And sometimes timeouts are really to recollect the senses of your team or to ice the server.
yeah, but uncharacteristic error for me. Tina Salak has got ice in her veins.
Phillips, chance here for the white shirts.
Oh, huge. That's a huge block.
Match point for Santa Lucia, who may be recovering just in time to revive their campaign here in the Premier Volleyball League. And it's in the hands of the Bulaqueña.
And a full front row for Santa Lucia.
But a chance here for Santa Lucia. Cheng will choose Sabete. Pat again.
Whoa, still
Puding.
alive.
Santiago. And Santa Lucia does it at the net. They recover just in time. And the smiles are back.
You really can't count anyone out right now.
Yeah, that's exactly the lesson there. Ay, umiiyak si Jonas Sabete. This win is huge. And you know, they're all expressing themselves, the coaching staff and the team, as they do it in 5. Santa Lucia 15-10 in the 5th. We'll take a break and we'll be back to wrap this baby up. The Santa Lucia Lady Realtors recovered just in time. They were up 2 sets to love and up 5 points in the 3rd set. And then all of a sudden, things turned the way of Chery Tiggo. What happened in the 5th? How did Santa Lucia recover, Noreen?
Well, Santa Lucia, obviously, I feel it's because they know that the tournament life is on the line. They already have 3 losses. And today's game, it was already within their grasp. So they fought tooth and nail, really. We have to mention, Cheng played well. Mika Reyes at the start, Phillips. But this girl, really, Jovi Prado, threw out the entire 5 sets, although losing cause in the 3rd and 4th. But she really is our player of the game.
And the last 2 games, actually, she's done very well. 17 the last time, 19 today. Yeah, you deserve to write whatever you want to write in your whiteboard. Baliktaran pa, pwede yan. Jovi Prado saving the Lady Realtors in the 5th set. You're right, to probably save the campaign here in the Premier Volleyball League, because now they are at 500, 3-3. And this game is also going to be fun. The Bally Pure Water Defenders on a 2-game winning streak, and the Creamline Cool Smashers undefeated in the PVL and the #1 team. Eric Tipan, Doc AJ Parea will be joining you for that one. In behalf of Noreen Go, my name is Boom Gonzalez. Thank you for watching the first professional volleyball league in the Philippines. It is a PVL exclusively on One Sports and One Sports Plus.